We've come a long way in our battles against disease, but the war is far from over. Illnesses ranging from malaria to flu still defy the doctors. And one of our deadliest modern afflictions, drug addiction, still shows little sign of yielding to treatment. In the developed world, the success rate for addicts averages just 12%. But now a new breakthrough promises a brighter future.
It's a Sunday afternoon at LAX International Airport, Los Angeles. Barnaby Hopkins is here to meet an old school friend he hasn't seen in 5 years. But this isn't to be a fun-filled holiday, reminiscing about old school days, because James is a drug addict. In the last 18 years, he hasn't been clean and sober for more than a few days at a time. Now, 32, he's reached the end of the road. It's a story that's all too familiar to Barnaby. Until last year, he was just like James. But now, thanks to a miraculous new treatment, he is clean and sober.
All I knew is this doctor in Mexico was doing this new treatment. I mean, what I was doing before I arrived there, I was lying all the time, and I was stealing as much as I could to get whatever it is I needed to get. And within 3 days, that kind of thinking changed. The highs and the lows and the panic attacks and the depression, I didn't have to go through any of that. For me, it was like a, I hate to use the word miracle, but it was just like a miracle. And I believe it can do the same for James.
Offered a simple, withdrawal-free way to come off drugs, James packed his bags and headed for Mexico. But first, the two friends have some catching up to do. On admittance to the clinic, the first hurdle James has to overcome is to document fully his drug usage.
I'm going to go through now a bunch of drugs one at a time.
Yeah.
And again, I just want you to be as accurate as possible. Yeah. How old were you when you first started drinking alcohol?
6 or so.
When did you last use heroin?
I used heroin just before I came out here.
So that would have been...
I had a last night binge.
Saturday?
Yes, Saturday.
Cocaine. How old were you when you first used cocaine?
About 16.
It's important that James lets them know exactly what he's taken, for this is no ordinary 12-step program or rapid detox or replacement drug therapy.
We will have essentially the craving for most of the drugs that James has used completely obliterated. We feel our success rate is probably close to 80%.
James's first treatment will be like all the rest. Nothing more complex than a few hours a day on this drip. It may be simple, but the secret to success is in the solution.
Are you okay?
Fine. Absolutely fine.
The amino acids are the most important ingredients in the program that we're doing. We're giving the brain essentially what it wants. The treatment is making them feel almost like the substance they're using.
Amino acids are the building blocks for neurotransmitters and receptors, natural chemical messengers that trigger responses in neurons, the cells that carry signals in the brain.
Dr. Hitt's theory is that an addict's brain has a craving for higher levels of neurotransmitters than a normal person's. Illegal drugs, like cocaine, act as a chemical substitute that fulfills this need. By replacing the drug with natural neurotransmitters in the form of amino acids, Dr. Hitt can relieve this craving and with it, the desire to take drugs.
I'm in the process of preparing amino acid solutions for 2 of the formula that we're using. In this solution, we are able to treat addictions to crack cocaine or cocaine and also crystal methamphetamine.
James's customized cocktail of amino acids is administered intravenously. It's the first session in a 10-day treatment program. By day 4, it's crunch time.
I feel fantastic. I don't know what they're doing to me, but it seems to be working perfectly well. Usually one has dreams of like scoring in one's sleep. I haven't had anything like that. Usually I'll be throwing TVs, eating raw coffee, It's a lot.
What about the shakes and stuff?
Haven't had the shakes at all.
The sweats?
Sweats, no.
Wow.
Had a bit of kicking last night. No, the night before. And that usually goes on for about 2 weeks.
After the 10-day regime of amino acids, James will receive no further treatment. And 4 months later, he is still clean and sober and making plans for his new life.
For about a month afterwards, I had an amazing clarity, but I found it very difficult to communicate vocally. It's quite disorientating at first. One expects life to be sort of rather more stressful, and it isn't. It's very, very much rosier than I thought it was.